You know, Mark, if there was one character you think could save Pompeii, who would it be?
I have no idea.
Jon Snow? Come on, get it? His name, Game of Thrones.
Oh, I get it.
Jon Snow.
It's terrible.
Snow.
Okay, well, he entertains himself. We hope to be entertained by Pompeii in 3D, ladies and gentlemen. Christian, the mountain exploded. There's a lot of lava flowing everywhere. What do you think?
You want to hear about the story? I'll tell you what happens. So Jon Snow is a very young child in this movie, and what happens? He watches Jack Bauer get pissed off and slaughter his entire family. So he wants revenge, so he goes, argh, and then he meets the girl from Sucker Punch, Baby Doll, or whatever her name was, who was her mom, Trinity. It's great. And then he finds Mr. Echo, they get into gladiator matches, and then it all goes to hell because something blows up. You're dead.
Everything you loved about television over the last 15 years has now gone to crap because the guy who made Mortal Kombat decided to try his hand at history.
Here's the thing. You see a Paul W.S. Anderson movie and you go, oh, get ready for the stink farts.
I go, Mortal Kombat!
Because you're holding on to legend, and he's trying to recreate the tragedy of what happened. In this movie, this is what it is, and everyone's going to say this. This movie is Titanic meets Gladiator, but the bad versions of both those movies.
It certainly is. It's a disaster film, and it has the Titanic feel.
Sure is.
Yeah, in more ways than one. And it's like, oh, there's going to be this love story intertwined with this natural event that is, it's kind of like Titanic. I mean, obviously, this is much warmer because it's a volcano that exploded and happened in 79 AD, for those of you keeping score at home. And what's interesting about this movie is that I went to this film thinking, okay, all I have to do is just stuff popcorn in my face until we get to the volcano exploding, because then that's going to be awesome. That's going to be the best part of the movie. Best part of the movie was happening, and then the volcano went up, and then it completely checked me out.
I will say this. This is probably the best movie Paul W.S. Anderson has done since Mortal Kombat.
Okay, yes, okay.
Right?
Well, Mortal Kombat, yeah, and then this.
Yeah, I mean, it's really not saying much, but the dialogue itself, and I don't really give him the credit for it, because Kit Harington, who plays Jon Snow in Game of Thrones, is one of the best parts of this entire movie. He's the star of the film, he has a lot of charisma, and he kicks ass. He's a good warrior. He does the job there. The dialogue, though, what are you going to do with that?
Nobody has really good dialogue to work with. I liked our guy, Adewale, who played Mr. Echo in Lost. I liked him. Great. He was my favorite part of this movie. I felt like he was the most believable. I thought Kit Harington, he's a badass when he's fighting, but he didn't really have a lot to do other than that. He just looks like a pretty boy the whole time when he's emoting at this chick, and she is trying to emote back at him, and
But that, again, that's directing thing. That's say, hey, Kit, you do that. When he had to shine, I thought, in the role, he did. And I was interested in what was going on because of him. He drove the story the whole time. But Paul W.S. Anderson, with the stupid slow motion shot and like every single, you just can see his style, and it's really dopey. I'm glad they didn't do this stupid thing. They didn't do that dumb thing, but I expected
That's really all we needed. All we needed is one of those moves, and then a move where somebody saves a puppy. And that's all we needed in this film. We try to throw everything in there. And there's one thing that we found out that Jack Bauer can't do.
A Roman accent.
Whew.
Terrible.
Yeah, well, actually, here's the thing, is that when Kiefer Sutherland comes on screen, he's kind of the villain in this, besides the volcano. He comes on the screen and you're like, whoa, are we going to have to hear that out of his mouth the whole time? And then, I don't know if I settled into it or he settled into it more, but I started to like it by the end of the film, and I don't know if that's just because I was trying to entertain myself anyway I could.
No, it's because it was Kiefer Sutherland, and how do you not like Kiefer Sutherland?
I love the man.
It's Jack Bauer, but seeing him do the dainty thing with the Roman accent and overcooking the bad guy thing, it's silly, but again, I really do think you can have fun with this movie for the most part, and I agree with you. Once the volcano goes off, everything that I was enjoying about the movie is gone, because it turns into a Roland Emmerich film, and a bad Roland Emmerich film.
Oh, everything bad in there, and it's just like, oh, let's make the heroes as virtuous as possible. Yeah. They never trample old ladies, and let's make the villain as evil as possible. Yeah. And it just felt like a cartoon after a while. I will say that some of the big sweeping effect shots once the volcano's going off are awesome. It's really cool to see this incredible event in history go off from afar, but once they zoom up and you see all this stuff up close, I felt like I was on a tiny soundstage. One of the, you could have shot the rest of that in my apartment.
It's very true. And then
our soundstage, sorry.
Yeah, and then it gets really silly at points too, like when it's all going down in the volcano, there's people sword fighting in the middle. It's like, let's not worry about politics. Let's survive and sword fight after we're not burned to death.
And it really is like Neptune is controlling the volcano, like, all right, wait, hold up on shooting the fire. I want to see what happens with these lovers.
Yeah, it's like, stop.
Oh, look, they're making out. And more fire. More fire.
All right. Overall, this movie, like I said, I was entertained for a good portion of it, and then it just lost me. Kit Harington's a star, but overall, 2.4 out of 5 Schmoes.
Star is a strong word, but I think Kit Harington showed a lot of potential in this movie. The volcano was neat from afar, up close in this movie. 2.25 out of 5 Schmoes. And you know what gets 0 out of 5 Schmoes? The 3D at the Grove. Fix your glasses.
Every time we see a 3D movie, you will be saying something about the 3D.
I think people should tweet the Grove and tell Pacific Theater's the Grove. Tell them to get that crap out of it.
Yeah, I agree with them. Do that because they're terrible.
I still have the marks on my nose.
It's like the Max Headroom glasses. Like, what are you doing? What are you trying to kill people with those stupid glasses? Schmo, well, what about you? Do you want to see Pompeii? Are you a fan of history? Do you care? Are you going to see it just because Jon Snow is in it?
Do you think it was too soon to make a movie about Pompeii? Tweet us at Schmoes Know and click like on our Facebook page. Go to our Facebook page.
20,000 likes now.
Really?
Yeah, besides that, though, also the other thing is, too, Thursday, that would be tonight, last podcast for a little bit, last live podcast, and then we'll do it again in probably like a month or so. But catch us, check us out, Q&A, the whole deal. I knew I was in trouble, though, today.
Why?
Because right before I saw this movie, I was having lunch, and I look over, and Kellen Lutz was there. Played Hercules this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a symbol from the gods.
You're lunching with Kellen Lutz?
I was not lunching with him.
Where were you?
Where do you think I was? If you had to guess where Kellen Lutz was eating.
Well, he's a really shredded dude, so I'd imagine he eats somewhere really healthy, like, I was Chili's, the Olive Garden. I don't know where.
Pink Taco.
Oh, you didn't call me?
No.